So that kind of leads me on to the concept of just being open generally. I know a lot of people who have let bad experiences in the past where, you know, they've allowed themselves to be vulnerable or to be close to someone and they've been hurt. They allow those experiences to taint their future, and they become very kind of cold and guarded, and it really prevents them from moving on and, you know, finding nice new relationships or finding friendships at work and all sorts. There's a lot of people that I know that have lovely, beautiful hearts, but they have a stern outer shell, and people really get the wrong idea about them and believe them to be as cold as their exterior projects, and it's such a shame, and I feel really sad for them because they're missing out on so much. Of course, it's important that we learn from the past and we do have our wits about us, but not everyone is bad. In fact, there's a lot of good eggs in the world, and it's a shame that they have to work so hard to penetrate our shell sometimes to get to us, because those bad eggs have made us have this, you know, crunchy thing on the outside. And like I said, at work, you've got to remember that being warm doesn't necessarily mean that you're weak. You can be warm, but you can also be strong and determined and great at your job. You don't have to have that kind of icy exterior. I also think being an open person can be really beneficial to other people, which in turn will benefit you, because if you're open and willing to share your stories, share your experiences, you could be helping someone else and just spreading, you know, positivity or spreading awareness of something that could help, and that can only be a good thing too. Next up, get creative. Now, this is really more about, you know, doing what you love, doing more of what you love. Quite often we don't find the time to do the stuff that really makes us happy, but you've got to try and make time, because there usually is a way you can do it, whether it's cutting back on doing those things that you do because you feel you should but you don't actually want to do, or cutting back on maybe the time it takes for you to get ready in the morning. You could then have 20 minutes spare to do maybe something that you love doing. I chose to say get creative because I do think when you create something, whether it be sculpture, an animation, a photograph, picture drawing, whatever it is, clothes, I do feel like quite often with those sort of activities you are venting something. You can release something that you're feeling, a frustration or a joy or whatever it is. But, you know, if there's something else you like doing, something a bit more using another side of your brain, then do that too if it makes you happy. It's also interesting to think about, you know, like those reality shows where, say, a rugby player learns how to ballroom dance and he turns out to be really good. I think those shows prove that we've all got these talents or natural flares for things that we don't realise that we have. And unless we experiment and try out lots of different activities and hobbies and things, we might not ever discover them. They'll be untapped for the rest of our lives. So I think in, you know, experimenting in new art forms or new activities or new sports, whatever, you're increasing the chance of discovering, you know, that hidden talent, that hidden thing that makes you so happy or that you flourish in. And that's kind of exciting, thinking that you could try something tomorrow and it turns out that that's the thing you end up wanting to do for the rest of your life. I mean, how amazing is that? Make time for friends is the next one. Like I said earlier, when I'm working day after day at home doing my bloggy stuff, sometimes I get in the habit of being a hermit, and then I've left it so long that the prospect of socialising seems very daunting and very anxiety building. So I'd say even on those days where you are a little tired perhaps, or you've done your work and you're thinking, oh, an early night would be bliss, try and use those, you know, little windows to have a catch up with a friend. You know, the sort of friends that you don't have to try too hard with, the ones that will take you as you are. If you're looking a bit rough around the edges, if you're a bit tired, they won't mind because they'll just be pleased to see you. And, you know, having a giggle and having a good catch up with a friend, it really is great for the mood. It really is uplifting and restorative to, you know, have time with those really close friends that, like I said, aren't judgmental, and those ones that are your cheerleaders and those ones that support you. This is probably quite a personal one, but having time with furry friends makes me really happy. Every time my cockapoo pal Rosie is free for a visit or needs looking after, I definitely feel about 80% happier. I feel like they know when you're having a bad day too, because she definitely like digs her head in a little bit harder when I'm having an ill day or slightly down day. It's like she can detect it, and just having this furry creature that is happy to see you, well, so ecstatic to see you in fact, and they're just nice to cuddle too. And obviously they sometimes make you go for a walk, which you wouldn't do otherwise, so that's positive too. Right, so this video is the length of a feature film, so I might have divided it into little parts. You'll know if you're watching this whether this is part 3 or part 2 or whatever. I hope those tips help you a little bit, and I hope this hasn't been too terribly dull. As I said, I'm trying so hard to be happy Soph for the summer period of YouTube. And please send me more suggestions for videos, because I'm a bit stumped actually on videos to make at the moment. So any new ideas would be very well received. Love you lots, honestly. And bye.